Okay, hello, all astrology family. Yes, you are staring at the correct thing. You are in the right place. This is G, and you are staring at the Google page, all right, the Google browser. We are going to go on an adventure together. We are going to find out how to pull up your own astrology chart, how you can actually take a look at your natal chart and at the same time see the transiting planets on your chart. So I'm going to try to punch in here astro.com. Let me back it up, so have patience with me. I know this might seem a little remedial, but not everybody is internet savvy. This way I start at the bottom and we see over here Astrodienst, that is the site, astro.com for short. So typically if you do see this, what you're going to do is pick extended chart selection. That is what we're looking for. So even if you end up just on their main homepage, there will be a way to access extended chart selection. So what I'm going to do is show you that right now by going to the home page. I'm going to press home, and then if you just bear with me, depending upon there we go. See how it looks a little bit different? So now what you're viewing, all right, so what you're going to do, this is the home page. You're going to scroll down. This is an astrologer's website, so I think it is a good thing to go through, because then you can be like, oh, okay. After a while, once you've spent time on it, you get used to it. Astro.com is a link that we keep under every single video. And so if you click on the link that we have under our videos, it will show you this little doohickey right here. This is the current transiting planets. And so it gives you a really quick breakdown. You see right there, it gives you the date, right? April 24th, 2020. And yeah, it's all military time, which says 2007 UT/GMT. You would definitely have to convert for where you live. Like, for an example, I am in the Chicagoland area, and so this is or universal time /GMT. The way I adjust for my time in the Chicagoland area, because we are now on Central Standard Time, because it's spring now, and so this is -5 hours. So I would take this 2007 and -5, and that gives me my time for where I live. Now, you don't really need to know that right off the top. It's just good to understand that you'll have to do some converting when you see military time and you see that it's in UT/GMT. Okay. Next, you see all the planets, right? You see their symbols, then you see them written, then you see the astrology signs based on the current transits. So the sun is in Taurus at 5 degrees, 5 minutes, 43 seconds. You see that? The moon in Taurus, 24 degrees, 19 minutes, 3 seconds, and so on, okay? All right, from here, if you look closely, I'm going to scroll, and you see extended chart selection. That's the one you want to create your own chart, so I'm going to press on that. I am here to let you know that if you don't have your own chart, okay, or if you are brand new here, all you have to do is comment your birth digits below, and we can create a chart for you. We can get a chart to you, and that is at no cost. Every subscriber is entitled to that. Every subscriber can join in, watch the videos, ask questions, and get answers. This whole goal, the whole project, the astrology, all astrology, is about you having a greater understanding of yourself. So all you got to do, comment below. You don't know. You got questions. Even if you have your own chart, comment below, and I will get back to you. We will hook you up. Okay, and here we are. At this point on the website, they're going to ask you a couple of things. Your option is to use the website as a guest user, which is not a bad idea, especially if it's just a one-time use. But if you plan up pulling, say if you're a mom and you've got a couple of kids in the house and you've got a spouse and you want to have multiple charts, it would be worth your while to go ahead and become a visitor. It's free. The only thing is that, of course, you have to click on an email address. That's the difference. This one, you don't need an email. This one, you do. This is a tutorial. So what I want to do is I'm going to create this. Okay, I already, before the video, before I came and started recording, I created a brand new Gmail account so that I could use it to use as this example. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our account, okay? How about we start with the My Astro and we punch on there. Maybe this is where we should have went. Okay, so now we've made the decision that we want to create an account using an email address. So once you're here, you go, let me use my little pointer, it's a little bit easier to see, create a free registered user profile. Okay, so we're going to click on that. And yes, they're going to ask for some information. So you're going to punch in your email, and I will go ahead and I will start punching in this email address that I created just so I could use this as an example for you guys. It's asking me for a password. Okay, so now that we're there, we've got the big green light. Yay! It does want you to read all this other privacy stuff down here, so you do have to press the accept button, and I've done that. Now, what we're going to do, pay attention to this page, okay, because this way you're going to understand where you go next once you see this page, all right? It is saying if you are not so-and-so, please click here. Well, we are. All right, so at this point, you have nothing in your file, okay? It says add new Astro data. That's what you want to press on, the blue button, add new Astro data. It turns green. At this point, this is where you enter the birth information. You don't have to do the last name. Now, I'm going to punch in an event instead of the male or female stuff. It's got male, female. I'm punching an event, and then it's going to ask me for the birthday, all right? And then it's going to ask me for the month, okay? And then the year. Fill all the particulars. Okay, and here's the time, which I do want to point this out to you, is that it does do military time, okay? So that's important to see, all right? But in the parentheses, it gives you what the regular timers. So whoever's birth information you have, right? The main thing is to make sure you're right and you're accurate about that birth time. That's important, and including the minutes, okay? Put in the city and the state, and that would be it right there, Philadelphia, PA. So I highlight on there, and there's the continue button. You don't need to know the longitude and latitude, all right? It figures that out for you once you punch in the location, and then you hit the continue button. Now, this next step is important, all right? Once we're here, right, there's the chart. And all you gotta do is press on that, right? Turns to red, and then it shows this whole big page. Now, the reason it shows you all of this is because there are different things that you can do, okay? But again, like I said in the beginning, you want to go for the extended chart selection because we want to actually see the chart that we have in the file that we just punched in. I know, it's like, great, where's the chart? You're not showing me the chart. You're showing me all this specific stuff because we picked extended chart selection. Now, this might be too in-depth for you. You may be thinking, gee, I don't know all this stuff. I don't know what I should be picking. This is why I'm doing this video. If there's anything in it that goes too deep, then stop. Pick up again at another time. But I'd rather give you all the information now, and then you can choose to learn at your own speed. So there's the horoscope that I have. That was the one I picked, USA, okay? Now, you see round is lit, and that is what we want. Okay, we're basically just going to use these default settings that are already in here. Okay, see, natal chart wheel, yeah, we want that. Chart drawing, web default style, we'll pick that one. And today happens to be this date. Now, what if I don't want to see today's, the reason this is here so that we can take a peek at today's current transits. Now, say I wanted to see the transits like in a week. I could go ahead and punch in a date for a week from now. Okay, and then that is what will show up on top of the natal chart. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. I'll keep this, actually, I'll switch this to the 25th because I did a video about today Pluto standing still. And that's a video that's actually going to be released tonight. And you will have already seen that video before you see this one. Now, when we get down to here, okay, because see, there's a couple of options in the section area. Right? When we get down to here, it says options for zodiac houses. Just leave this as default, okay, house system. Now, when you come over to here, this is all on default, by the way. I haven't had to change anything. You saw me. I started as a brand new account. So it's on tropical and it's on geocentric, and that's pretty much what I use. Now, when I come down to here, it gives you more options. Like there's some other default settings for different types of charts. You know what, for right now, that's not something that's important. There's other things you can get into, like if I were to press display and calculation options, this is asking if you want to see specific either asteroids or fixed stars, things that are not typically shown up in a regular chart. Okay, let's go to additional objects. Some of these they already have written. I just pressed display and calculation options. I know this is pretty tricky to see. All right, now if we take a peek at this, it's got to Chiron, to the lunar nodes. So if I were to press on any of these are the things that would show up in the chart, okay? Each person, you get to choose what you want to look at. Now, if you aren't used to looking at charts, trying to keep it simple is going to be the best. Look carefully to draw no aspect lines okay, or only draw lines for major aspects, all right? You probably would like to see, I would guess, you know, as a new person, you might want to see the aspect lines, okay? I find that having the aspect lines is a little distracting, but I will give you an example and I will mark to all objects, okay? Or how about this one? We'll do only to major objects. That'll keep it a little bit cleaner. That means we'll turn off all the other ones if I can get my finger in there. Okay, so we've got only major aspects, right? Which is, they're giving you in the parentheses 180 degrees, which means oppositions, all right? Because that's halfway around the chart. So if you have something at each end that's an opposition, then we've got 90 degrees, that's your squares. We've got 120 degrees, that's your trines. And then we've got 60 degrees, which is going to be your sextiles, okay? So remember, this is an astrologer's website. It can be really complicated, but we're going to leave it just at that, okay? So now we're going to go down here and click Show the Chart. The best thing to do about with anything that you've done for the first time is to experiment and play around with the chart. Discover all the things that you can and can't do. Obviously at a time when you have time for that. Now, if you look at the top of the page, okay, we see that's the chart we asked for. We also take a look at the detail, right? USA, Thursday, 4th of July, 1776. It's got the time and it's got the location, right? And immediately it gives us, it tells you the sun sign and it tells you the rising sign / ascendant sign, okay, in the red. If you want to go back a page, you would hit this green button. Like say we made a mistake, we hit that green button and it takes you back to the chart selection, takes you here so you can change things around again. Say you want this time we want to see the fixed stars on the page, so we click fixed stars, then we hit our click here to show the chart, okay? And then all of a sudden we see the fixed stars, which they have, they denote them by printing them out. So here's Regulus, Sirius, Aldebaran, Elgo. There's a whole bunch of fixed stars, Antares, Spica. These are the fixed stars that they show. All right, they take, I think Miss A told me, approximately 75 years to move 1 degree. So they're called fixed because they barely move. Now what we're going to do is take a look at just the basic look of the chart. We see rising as ascendant, right? Sagittarius ascendant. We see this moon, right? This is a Aquarian moon. We see the descendant, right, is Gemini. And we see that the IC is 1 degree, 103 in Aries, and the midheaven is 103 in Libra. All right. So from here, you then take a peek, right? You can see there's all the planets. There they are written. There's the degrees of the planets. There's the minutes. There's the seconds. And then there's that aspect graph, okay, which tells you in this chart the sun is squaring Saturn. Right? That's the first example. Sun, I know there's that one. We're going to go with the square first. Sun squaring Saturn. So I go up here and I take a peek. Where is that showing this? Sun at 1319 squaring Saturn. See the red line? Squaring Saturn at 1448. Now, if we didn't have these lines here, you understand, because squares are 90 degrees. So how do we do the quick thing, right? Well, it's cardinal energy. So the next cardinal sign, top or bottom, is a square. Right? Cardinal is Libra. It's matching degree. 1448, it's not exact, it's very close. It's a definite square. Okay? 1319, 1448. Do we have anything squaring over here? Even though this isn't showing a square, let's take a peek. The United States has their Chiron at 20 degrees. All right? Chiron at 20 degrees in Aries. And if we look in Cancer, what do we have? We have Mercury at 24 degrees in Cancer. There is no line drawn, though. So does that mean it's not a square? No, that doesn't mean that. It just means that for whatever reason, this is choosing to not show that. I mean, I have Chiron here, right? And so we want to know Chiron squaring Mercury. If we go here, look, it's there. There's the square. Mercury squares Chiron. So it's in the aspect graph, but the line is not drawn up here. And basically it comes down to probably trying to keep it simple. It is a square, so it is a major aspect, but in their minds, maybe it's not, because it's not within, you know, we look at 24 and 20, that's a 4-degree orb. So maybe they're considering major aspects only like within a 2-degree orb, like they showed here. All right. So you always want to know and not be reliant on the computer to point out where the squares and the trines and the all that. So many times I'll pull up a chart and I'll ask it to not print the lines because, quite frankly, I find the lines really distracting. It's, yeah, there's so much to look at. So knowing your own chart and understanding just this is important. This will tell you about your basic foundation. Now, what if I wanted to see this chart and I wanted to see it with today's transits, where the planets are up in the sky today? So you scroll down a little bit, right? Or however you call it, scroll up. See where it says with transits, the blue button right under the green one? We're going to click on that and watch the magic. All right? What you see is that over here, you now see it prints transits, 25th April 2020. And those are going to be in green. So where are they? Aha. North Node in green. Just about at exactly 0 degrees in Cancer. Venus, right? Venus at 16 degrees in Gemini. The Moon in Taurus, 25, 26 degrees now. Uranus and the Sun. Uranus is at 6.5 degrees. The Sun is at 5 degrees in Taurus, right? You've got Mercury, 24 degrees, Aries. Chiron. Chiron's in Aries, the transiting Chiron in Aries, which means, right, when this Chiron gets to here, that's a Chiron return for this chart. Here's Neptune. Pay attention to Neptune. This is a big factor for 2020, for the next couple of years. Mars, 18 degrees Aquarius, and so on. You can read the rest, right? There's Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. Saturn's at 2 degrees. And then you can see Pluto and Jupiter, and look at that, natal Pluto. This is a really big deal. This has so much to do with what we're experiencing right now. It's a transiting Pluto on top of a natal Pluto. It's called the Pluto return. Big deal. We'll understand more of that in another video. So this was to show you a chart looking at the basic natal energy and then seeing the transiting up in the sky planets and understanding that you're not only looking at your own chart and how each of the planets in your own chart, what kind of conversations and how they relate to each other, but then on top of all that, you're looking at the current transits and you're saying, okay, so for this chart I'm looking at, what does it mean when the sun, and Uranus are conjunct? Does it do any trines or squares to the natal chart? So as an example, let's look. What would be a square? It would be other fixed energy, because Taurus is a fixed sign. So fixed is 90 degrees away, or if you have them memorized, you know fixed is Leo, is Scorpio, and is Aquarius, right? Squares give you the cross. See that great cross there? Big, great square. So that would mean that at 6 degrees of Taurus, we're looking for something at 6 degrees in the fixed signs. Well, what do we see? On this chart, we see they have Leo at 636. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Uranus is squaring the North Node in Leo at 636. That's fixed. Is there, let's see what else we got going on here. What else would square it? Go in Uranus. Now, nothing's here at 6 degrees in Uranus yet. But next year, Saturn will be here at 6 degrees. So that means there'll be a square a year from now with Saturn and Uranus. But as of right now, there's not a square. Is there an opposition? Let's look to the opposing fixed energy. There's nothing in Scorpio. Nothing in Scorpio at this time. Okay? But we do know the one square, Sun squaring the North Node in Leo and Uranian energy. So if this was your chart, you'd be like, okay, this is my 8th house. This is my North Node. The North Node is where I'm headed in my private personal life. This is what I must do. There's some aspect of this in regards to Leo energy I have to explore and I have to work with. All right? 8th house is shared energy, shared resources. It's not just shared, it's shared values. It is shared tangible resources as well as energy, like money is energy. And then it's Leo. Leo at a low expression is all about me, 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 me. At a high expression, it operates here. In Aquarius, it thinks about the group. Okay? And so that would mean this is being challenged. Uranus is saying, I'm going to test you. How is that working for me, me, that self thing working for you right now, right? You're on a sense shocks and surprises, okay? So this gives you a little taste of taking a look at the transiting planets and understanding what kind of conversation they're having with your natal planets. Those are in the black, right? On the inside of the chart. And this is the exact chart I would look at when I'm talking about your reading. When I'm looking at your stuff, you have questions and I go and I read and I look it up for you and I'm like, okay, and I make sure I click on the transits so I see what current stuff is affecting you personally, okay? And how? Is it sending a square? Is it sending a trine? And so what would be a trine to this energy? Well, that would be like elements, which would be earth energy. So the like elements in earth is going to be Virgo energy and Pluto energy. And is there anything at 6 degrees in either Virgo? Nope. Virgo or Capricorn? Nope. Well, let's look at the moon. We have the moon here. What's the moon doing? It's at 25, 26 degrees. Is there anything in earth trining? Well, we have Neptune at 22, 25. So that's like a 4-degree orb of trine and ease, right? And we also have that the moon is going to be very shortly, when the moon gets to 0 degrees air, right? It'll be trining this midheaven. Okay? Not to get confused. Let's go and see if we can find another trine. The moon right now over here, yeah. The moon is trining this Pluto exactly almost, right? This is at 26. This is at 27. So this is a nice trine. Remember, trines at ease. So emotions. That's what the moon is. Emotional stability, emotional satisfaction, about resources, money, things I value. That's Taurus energy, right? It would help if you guys would leave questions below so that I understand where you're at, so that I can pinpoint and address your specific questions. Chances are, for every person who's got a question, there's quite a few more, a handful more out there that have that same question. And so if you ask those questions, I can then do another video answering those questions with this as a visual. And if there's no questions, then I know I don't have to bother doing that. But I know that this website can be very complicated. And so I hope that this gets you at least where you can pull up your own chart and then see your current transits in relationship to your own chart, okay? And then once you have that, anytime you're listening to one of the videos, and we're talking, I've got dates and degrees, you know, you want to be able to pull up your own chart so that the best way to learn is to have a visual as you're hearing somebody who may have a little bit more knowledge than you, and as they're talking about it, you can see, right? You can see how that all looks and have greater understanding. All right, for all those who have the Zodiac Starter Pack, analyzing the chart of the United States of America. And so we have some major events coming up, and we kind of already are in those events. We are in the beginning of the beginning. We're also at the beginning of the end, so to speak. So we're going to be talking about some of the energies that are going to be happening from 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and maybe even 2024, and understanding that this is going to probably be a long ride, all this change that we're in and instability. And so diving into the United States chart and understanding it deeper. Now, for those who have the Zodiac Starter Pack, you already own the United States chart, okay? It was part of your Zodiac Starter Pack. All you got to do is make sure you print that up if you already haven't done so, or print up another one. This way you can mark things down and you can log and take notes and keep track. But we're going to be releasing the videos so that you can have this knowledge going forward, and that way you can hear it logically and rationally and understand this is just what is, and that way you have the foreknowledge, the foresight, and the ability to make choices that are best for you, that are best for your family, that are best for your loved ones. If you're new here, if you don't have the Zodiac Starter Pack, if you're interested in it, it is an astrology course based for people who have zero astrological knowledge, but at the same time there is tons of nuggets of knowledge for the intermediate student, really whatever level you're at, because whatever level you're at, we will find a way to make sure that we can accommodate to feed you that which you need, that which you don't have. So just comment your birth digits below. All the information is below the videos. It is simple links for the website, which is right on a freebie Wix site, or there's very simply just there's a PayPal thing down there, and it's a simple donation payment, and we immediately shoot it off to you. and you then get a whole private video series to watch and to learn, and you have a worksheet that you get to do along with it with examples, and have a really good solid foundational understanding. And that way, anytime you listen to astrology videos, you start your path, you start growing from there. Peace out. Bye.